All right, welcome to This Explainer. And honestly, get ready, because today's topic is absolutely wild. We're diving deep into the unbelievably extreme biology of one of the ocean's most extraordinary predators. Seriously, this is an animal that seems like it was ripped straight out of a sci-fi graphic novel, yet it's entirely 100% real. Today we're going to break down some truly fascinating research, looking at everything from their incredibly complex eyes to their devastating physical power, and see exactly why scientists and engineers all over the world are just obsessed with them.
So I want you to picture this. We're looking at a creature so powerful and so notoriously aggressive if you handle it wrong, that fishermen and divers literally call it the thumb splitter. I mean, what kind of marine animal can literally boil water with a single punch and easily crack thick aquarium glass? It sounds completely impossible, right? But as you'll see, nature definitely has a way of defying our expectations.
Let's get into it with Section 1, a diverse global predator. Meet the stomatopod.
We are talking, of course, about the mantis shrimp, and specifically, they belong to the order Stomatopoda. Now, fun fact, despite the name, they aren't actually shrimp at all. They're distant relatives of crabs and lobsters. This is a highly evolved ancient lineage of crustaceans that predates the dawn of the dinosaurs by about 170 million years. They've had a massive amount of time to perfect their biology and turn themselves into the ultimate underwater hunters. And wow, have they diversified in that time. There are over 400 known species of these incredible creatures. They show off this massive diversity in size, ranging from just a few centimeters long to absolute heavyweights like the zebra mantis shrimp. That guy can grow up to 38 centimeters and weigh as much as a basketball. You'll also find them sporting brilliant kaleidoscopic colors like the famous peacock mantis shrimp, or utilizing perfectly muted tones for seamless camouflage on the ocean floor.
Generally speaking, you'll find stomatopods spread all across shallow, tropical, and subtropical oceans around the world, basically from eastern Africa all the way over to Hawaii. But places like the southern Makassar Strait in Indonesia, those are absolute hotspots for these predators. It's actually one of the most vital marine biodiversity centers on the entire planet, serving as a perfect real-world laboratory for researchers to study exactly how these creatures live and hunt. Moving right along to Section 2, Hidden Masters of the Burrow, Patience and Ambush. Now here's what's really interesting. Despite that massive global presence we just talked about, mantis shrimp are surprisingly solitary and highly localized. It's all about environmental filtering. You see, minor differences in sediment grain size, compactness, and water quality mean different species segregate themselves really tightly, and they almost never overlap. For example, a species called Ortiscula fabrici was found to be entirely unique to the Pungkep region of Indonesia. They are very particular about exactly where they build their homes.
And honestly, those homes are crucial to their whole survival strategy. From these intricate, vertically descending tunnels in the soft sediment of the seafloor, or cavities they've just completely taken over in hard coral reefs, they act as incredibly patient ambush predators. They basically just sit and wait, relying entirely on stealth for soft-bodied invertebrates or hard-shelled crabs to wander just a bit too close to their front door. They aren't going to chase you. They want you to come to them. And when a meal does get within range, well, that's when the magic happens.
Which brings us to Section 3, the ultimate knockout punch, spring-loaded assassins.
Because when prey does get close, the mantis shrimp unleashes a weapon that truly has to be seen to be believed. Folded away beneath their bodies, much like an actual praying mantis, are these raptorial appendages that basically turn these crustaceans into spring-loaded assassins. They don't just grab their food, they absolutely obliterate it. Mantis shrimp are generally divided into two main types based on the specific shape of these claws. On one side, we have the spearers. These use spiny, barbed appendages to quickly stab and snag soft-bodied prey like fish right out of the water column. And on the other side, you've got the smashers. These possess heavily mineralized, hammer-like clubs designed to brutally bludgeon hard shells apart. Clams, crabs, snails, none of their armor stands a chance.
Okay, the sheer mind-bending physics of the Smasher's strike is just unparalleled. When they unleash that club, it rapidly uncoils at speeds of 23 meters per second. That is an acceleration of 10,400 Gs. To put that into perspective, that's equivalent to the speed of a .22 caliber bullet firing from a standing start. This unbelievable speed results in an instantaneous physical impact force of up to 1,500 newtons directly onto the prey's shell. It is literally the strongest self-powered strike by any animal in the world, period.
But wait, it gets crazier. The physical punch is actually only half the story.
The strike is so unfathomably fast that it literally tears the water apart, creating what is called a cavitation bubble. Basically, this is a vapor-filled void in the water that immediately collapses back in on itself. And when it collapses, it produces a secondary shock wave, immense heat, and even actual flashes of light. It's a phenomenon known as sonoluminescence. This means the prey gets hit twice, once by the claw itself, and then again by the shock wave. In fact, that shock wave is so intense it can stun or kill the prey even if the physical punch entirely misses.
Now you might be wondering, and it's a completely fair question, if they are hitting with enough force to crack thick aquarium glass and just atomize crab shells, how on earth do their own arms not break into a million pieces? Well, the secret lies in the microscopic architecture of the club itself. It is made of these interlocking herringbone layers of chitin, which is a flexible material found in insect shells, combined with super-hard calcium phosphate. This helical spiral staircase structure acts as the ultimate shock absorber. It stops microcracks from spreading and keeps their weapon perfectly intact, strike after strike after strike.
All right, Section 4, the most complex eyes, masters of the visual spectrum.
So raw power isn't their only weapon. Actually, if you ask a biologist, they might be even more famous for their extraordinary visual system. Their eyes are mounted on these mobile stalks that move completely independently of one another, constantly scanning their environment. Let's compare this to us for a second. While humans have 3 types of color-receptive cones in our eyes to see the world, the Mantis shrimp has between 12 and 16. Because of the unique way their eyes are structured, with a specialized midband, each individual eye possesses trinocular vision. That gives them perfect depth perception without even needing the other eye to focus. They can see deep into the ultraviolet spectrum, and incredibly, they're the only animals currently known to science capable of detecting circularly polarized light. No other animal does that.
And their visual processing works entirely differently from ours too. While the human brain processes color via complex neural networks, taking the signals from our 3 cones and kind of figuring out the shade, which takes computing power and a tiny fraction of time. The mantis shrimp eye basically says, I don't have time for that. They pre-process this visual information directly in the photoreceptors. They act almost like a hardware-level barcode scanner. They simply register the light and react instantly without complex brain processing, which, if you think about it, is a massive advantage for a predator that relies on split-second high-speed combat.
And that leads us perfectly into Section 5, Inspiring Human Technology, from Ocean to Lab.
So why does all this matter to us, outside of just being a really cool nature fact? Well, because scientists are using these exact biological principles to build a better future through biomimicry. By studying that impact-resistant herringbone structure of their clubs, engineers right now are developing ultra-strong, lighter body armor, sturdier airplane frames, and even more resilient sports equipment. And those highly efficient polarized eyes, they're the direct inspiration for new, high-performance underwater imaging sensors that can practically see right through murky water. Even more amazingly, researchers are using these same biological principles to create advanced cameras capable of detecting cancerous tumors by analyzing how they reflect polarized light. They're even designing next-generation optical media that vastly outperforms traditional Blu-ray technology. It's just wild.
We're going to wrap up this explainer with this thought. We have this solitary, territorial stomatopod. It's an animal that tops out at the size of a basketball, and it spends most of its life just hiding in a hole in the sand. Yet, it holds the biological secrets to unbreakable armor, instantaneous multispectral imaging, and early cancer detection. It really leaves you wondering, doesn't it? What other incredible, world-changing technological leaps are hiding down there in the deep ocean, just waiting for us to discover them?